At the edges of time and space, during the Planck era, where the laws of physics as we know them blur, vibrations marked the initial rhythm of our universe. From the first moments of the Big Bang, when primordial forces collided in a cosmic frenzy, vibration emerged as the essential force that shaped everything we know. Nikola Tesla, a visionary and pioneer, profoundly understood the importance of this primal energy. For him, understanding energy, frequency, and vibration was the key to unlocking the deepest mysteries of the cosmos. Today, in the modern era, science reveals a fascinating fact. Not only do physical objects possess vibration and frequency, but so do our thoughts and emotions. It is at this intersection between the material and the intangible that we find the key to understanding how we create our reality. By changing your base vibration, you can transform your experience into a completely different reality. This shift is not merely perceptual. Learning to adjust your vibration can, over time, alter your life trajectory toward an alternate reality. To fully understand this, we must explore the different levels of consciousness and how they influence our vibrations. One of the first fundamental ideas we need to understand is the concept of levels of consciousness, brilliantly explored in the book Power versus Force by David Hawkins, an author whose work has been profoundly transformative. The book presents the concept of the map of consciousness, which illustrates how different emotional states we experience correspond to different vibrational frequencies. At the lowest end of the scale lies shame, a feeling vastly different from peace and joy. As we move up the scale, we encounter various emotional tones. According to David Hawkins, all these feelings are arranged on a logarithmic scale. For instance, shame is placed at level 20 on this scale, but moving from level 20 to level 30 does not imply a simple 10-point increase. Rather, it signifies an increase by a factor of 10 to the power of 10. This represents an exponential rise in energy, where each step marks a significant increase in emotional intensity. Now listen carefully. You can change your state of consciousness based on how you feel. More importantly, to change your physical world, your exterior, you only need to change your state of consciousness, not the physical world itself. Simply put, you must vibrate at a higher level, and your external circumstances will naturally align with your state of consciousness. Each level of consciousness has a field of attraction depending on its vibration. If you wish to change something in your external world, you must do so from your level of consciousness. It's like trying to move a shadow without changing the object casting it. To alter your physical world, the shadow, you must change the object casting it, your vibration level. This model also shows how energy increases exponentially as we ascend the emotional scale, from shame to guilt, apathy, pain, and finally fear. This dynamic is precisely reflected in our physiology, where the amount of energy experienced at each of these levels varies significantly. In today's society, there's a phenomenon called pendulums, which can be individuals or groups representing collective thought. Pendulums arise when people join together and adopt similar traits, becoming synchronized. Often, individuals are unconsciously drawn to a pendulum's frequency, preventing them from questioning the established system. For instance, the educational system traps people within its structure, and those who challenge it are labeled outsiders. Pendulums are designed to keep people within the system and discourage challenging the status quo. Pendulums seek to keep individuals under their influence to maintain their energy. In the human realm, this can be represented graphically with an x-axis indicating frequency. On this graph, lower levels of consciousness, such as shame and guilt, are at the lower end, while enlightenment is at the upper end. Between these extremes, the distribution of consciousness levels forms a bell curve. Pendulums aim to keep people trapped within this frequency range. If we observe these groups and individuals willing to defend an idea with their lives without knowing why, it's because they are part of a pendulum. Society, through social media, major corporations, and mainstream media, keeps you trapped in certain energy and vibration levels, preventing liberation. Information is tightly guarded to keep you oscillating between fear and pride, just below the level of courage. Courage is the neutral level where you can free yourself from the influence of pendulums. The most resonant energy within this spectrum is anger. When pendulums incite anger, they extract the most energy from you. In the human realm, anger often unleashes the most intense violence. Any emotion below 200 on the consciousness scale can lead to unconsciousness and is potentially dangerous to your life, according to Hawkins and many New Thought authors. If we are at a low level of depression, guilt, or fear, our external appearances reflect that state. Consequently, we encounter more events that confirm the state of consciousness we are in. Conversely, if we vibrate at a higher state of consciousness, we don't need to do anything else. Our circumstances will naturally align with that higher state. To free ourselves from this lower state and change our base vibration, we need to elevate our consciousness. This involves recognizing the absurdity of giving our lives over to mere thoughts and beliefs, and working to rise above these negative emotional states. Understanding this allows us to break free from pendulums and experience a reality more aligned with our true aspirations and desires. To achieve this, we need to comprehend 3 keys to vibration. The book The Mechanism of Surrender by David Hawkins explores this process. Many people, upon discovering the importance of vibration and how to elevate it, fall into a mode of resistance. They feel emotions such as fear, desire, anger, or pride, and perceive these emotions as negative, leading them to try to change them immediately. However, focusing on changing these emotions is a way of surrendering to the pendulum, giving it your energy. Instead of resisting, the key is to allow and accept what you are feeling, recognizing that thoughts and feelings are just that. They have no inherent power over you. The first key to changing your base vibration is letting go. But this doesn't mean merely trying to let go, as that leads directly to resistance. Instead, it's better to think of letting go as letting be. When you fully accept something, anything happening in your life that you dislike, your immediate reaction might be to change or ignore it. However, in doing so, you lose the battle because you're telling yourself that the situation is unacceptable. You haven't allowed yourself to process what is emerging. It's crucial to let these feelings surface and deal with them appropriately. There are 4 main ways we manage our feelings: repression, suppression, expression, and surrender, or letting go. Repression occurs unconsciously when we push a feeling down because it's too overwhelming to face. Suppression is when we consciously push the feeling away, often resorting to escapist methods like watching TV, overeating, or smoking to avoid it. Expression involves trying to release the feeling through actions such as talking, shouting, or venting anger. But the most effective way to manage feelings is through surrender or letting go. By simply allowing the feeling to exist without resistance, you permit it to be without giving it power. If you practice this over time, your life will undergo profound and significant changes. The more you try to escape your feelings, the more you suppress and repress them. These accumulated feelings can manifest unexpectedly in inconvenient ways. Have you ever tried ignoring a problem, only to find yourself acting strangely or feeling stressed without understanding why? This happens because you haven't accepted what's occurring. Even in trivial situations, such as when your child cries all day, embracing the situation mentally and accepting it, saying, "Yes, it's been a terrible day, and that's okay," can bring you inner peace. Although external circumstances may be out of control, you can remain calm within. Acceptance is the key to elevating your vibration because it resonates at a high level on the consciousness scale, around 350. By entering a state of acceptance, you can free yourself from lower consciousness states and ascend to higher ones. It's important to understand that letting go doesn't always mean surrendering. It can sometimes involve expressing yourself. Surrender can occur even when you are suppressing or repressing emotions, but only if you've consciously decided to do so. For instance, during grief over a loved one's loss, you might choose to surround yourself with friends and distractions as a conscious way of managing your emotions at that time. The second key to elevating vibration is learning to balance effort and surrender. When starting your journey of personal development and manifestation, it's important not to become overly obsessed with the final outcome. Instead, focus on the process and take conscious actions in the present moment. This involves making deliberate efforts to move toward your goals, while also trusting the universe to handle how those goals manifest. Balancing effort and surrender is essential because it means creating with intention while trusting that the best will unfold for you. In yoga, this principle is known as abhyasa, persistent practice, and vairagya, detachment, taught for thousands of years in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. Abhyasa is persistent spiritual practice. It requires dedication and constant effort to seek truth and connect with your inner self. Without regular practice, spiritual progress is impossible. Vairagya is detachment from worldly things, not renouncing the world, but freeing yourself from fascination with the material and temporary. These two pillars complement each other and work together, like the two wings of a bird, lifting us toward enlightenment. The third key to elevating vibration is focus and attention. Instead of resisting what is or trying to change something, focus on what you truly wish to experience. Successful reality creators have learned to focus on what they want rather than what they don't want. They consciously decide to direct their attention to what they can control rather than worry about what's beyond their control. By ceasing to focus on the negative and cultivating gratitude for the positive in their lives, they shift their energy. Focus and attention are like light, illuminating whatever they are directed toward. Just as plants need sunlight and water to grow, to create the reality you desire, you must give focus and attention to it daily. It's recommended to have 1, 2, or at most 3 goals you keep in your mind each day. The more you concentrate on these goals and then release them to the universe, the more they will come to life. One day, once you've completely let go, you'll suddenly realize that they've manifested into reality.